Hello, welcome. Here are 10 books on my TBR I plan to read in 2025. Hi, I'm Kim. Let's talk about books. I have about 25 books in my possession that I haven't read in my physical TBR. A few classics, a few current titles, and some are just good novels. Following the advice of my cousin, once I'm done with a book, I give it away. Usually back to a little free library, or if I have a friend, I'll give it to them. But I don't lend books. I release them. The books I'm going to mention today are on my TBR because they're either Pulitzer Prize winning books, authors that I've already read other works by them, or books of substance. The first book in my physical TBR is The Overstory by Richard Powers. This book follows 9 Americans whose unique life experiences with trees bring them together to address the destruction of forests. Through interwoven narratives spanning multiple generations, the novel explores themes of environmental activism, the interconnectedness of living things, and humanity's relationship with the natural world. So, I bought this book at Books A Million in 2019, and I read 1 or 2 of the chapters or the stories that are in it already, and I was shocked. It hits really hard, really fast. I don't really remember why I stopped reading it, but I was surprised when I was recently searching cli-fi books or climate fiction, and it came up in my search. I didn't realize that that was one of the main themes of this book. I think I just bought it because I saw that it was a Pulitzer Prize winner. That's a new genre that I'm really liking. I think there's going to be more and more of cli-fi books that are going to come out. I still think about Camp Zero and The Light Pirate. So seeing this come up in my search and knowing that this was on my bookshelf and I haven't finished it yet has motivated me to read it this year. The next book in my possession that I want to read is The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. Rin is a war orphan in the Nikan Empire whose foster parents employ her in their opium smuggling. She secretly studies for a national test to escape an arranged marriage and places first, which sends her north to Singard, the imperial capital and home of the military academy. I read Yellowface by R.F. Kuang when it came out a couple years ago, and I really liked it. I'm interested in checking out some of her earlier work, and this has been on my shelf along with the second book of the trilogy. So when I saw that I haven't read them yet, I figured this year I better get to it. The next book in my physical TBR that I haven't read yet is The Yellow House by Sarah M. Broom. The Yellow House chronicles Broom's family, mapping back approximately 100 years. Her life growing up in New Orleans East and the eventual demise of her beloved childhood after the destruction of Hurricane Katrina. I bought this book in New Orleans at the Garden District Bookshop back in October when I was on a little book club retreat with my mom, my aunt, and my cousin, which makes up my book club. The clerk told me that when this first came out, it was miscategorized as fiction, and she kind of sold me on it. I have not cracked it open yet, so I am inspired to pick it up this year since it's been I don't know, 6 months now, almost, since I bought it. I don't buy a lot of books, but I do like to support indie bookstores. So I thought that that would be the perfect little souvenir to bring back, a book about New Orleans when I was in New Orleans. The next book in my physical possession is All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr. You've probably seen this one around. A World War II novel about a blind French girl who takes refuge in her great uncle's house after Paris is invaded by Nazi Germany. And a bright German boy who was accepted into a military school because of his skills in radio technology. This was made into a Netflix show. It's been around for over 10 years. It's a Pulitzer Prize winner. I've been wanting to read this for a long time. I've seen it around. It has, I think, 1 million ratings on Goodreads, and I just haven't picked it up yet. It's heavy material. I probably space out my books on World War II to every few months, a couple a year. But it's time to read All the Light We Cannot See. And so the last book that I physically have that I need to read this year as personal assigned reading is The Love Songs of W.E.B. Du Bois by Honoree Fanonne Jeffers. It explores the history of an African-American family in the American South from the time before the American Civil War and slavery through the Civil Rights Movement to the present. So, this author attended college in Alabama, where I live. I live in Montgomery, Alabama, which is the heart of the Civil Rights Movement, and I need to read more books exploring that topic. I think I started reading it in January. I'm about 50 pages in. So far, it mostly takes place in Georgia, where I got married and my in-laws live, and I also spend a lot of time. So, yeah, I'm inspired to read it. I've seen nothing but good reviews. It's a big boy. It's 800 pages. So I think just the girth of it alone is imploring me as a challenge to read this book. So I have 5 more that I decided I need to read this year, and they will most likely be checked out from my local library. The first one that I have on hold, on a wait list, I think it's been 2 months now, is When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker. I don't read a ton of fantasy or romantasy books, but when there's a lot of hype about something, I wanna get in on it and see what it's all about. I read ACOTAR. I really liked it. I listened to the audio of Fourth Wing, and I didn't care for it. And then I didn't realize that this is also has dragons in it, which it might work for me. We'll see. When the Moon Hatched is a fast-paced fantasy romance for fans of witty banter and strong, sassy protagonists. Beneath the cover is an immersive, vibrant world with mysterious creatures, a unique magic system, and a love that blazes through the ages. So, yeah, we'll see when that comes up, if it's for me. The next book that I plan to read this year is The Roundhouse by Louise Erdrich. I listened to The Sentence maybe last year, and that's a pretty recent book. I think she has an even newer release, and The Roundhouse is an older work of hers. It transports readers to the Ojibwe Reservation in North Dakota. It is an exquisitely told story of a boy on the cusp of manhood who seeks justice and understanding in the wake of a terrible crime that upends and forever transforms his family. So, yeah, having grown up in Minneapolis, she's somewhat of a renowned hometown hero author in Minnesota, in the northern Midwest region. And yeah, I am sad to say it took me so many years until I finally read her work, and I get it, and I really liked her book, The Sentence, and I need to read some of her other work. The next book that I would like to conquer this year is The Poisonwood Bible by Barbara Kingsolver. The Poisonwood Bible is a best-selling novel about a missionary family, the Prices, who in 1959 moved from the U.S. state of Georgia, to the village of Kilanga in the Belgian Congo. So, this book has been around for 20 years? And I have checked it out before. I think it was 10 years ago I checked it out. My friend recommended it. She talked about it. She was in the Peace Corps in Guinea. And I've seen it around. I want to try reading it. I am inspired because 2 years ago I read Demon Copperhead, which I loved, and those characters are still with me. So it's time to try and read the Poisonwood Bible. I have 2 more books that I would like to accomplish this year. A Little Life by Hanya Yanagihara. Lengthy and tackling difficult subject matter, it garnered critical acclaim. Set primarily in New York City, the story chronicles the lives of 4 friends as they grapple with substance abuse, sexual assault, and depression. The cover of this book is haunting. Is it not? I think I have seen this cover around more than I've actually heard or realized what this book is actually about. I knew it was like depressing. Yeah, that's how it's described, as covering difficult subject matter. And I am motivated to read books that are not all fluff. So I want to accomplish that this year. The last book that I plan on finishing in 2025 is The Underground Railroad by Colson Whitehead. So I heard an interview with him on NPR, and I think he sold me on this book. The Underground Railroad is an alternate history novel about Cora, a slave in the antebellum South during the 19th century, who makes a bid for freedom from her Georgia plantation. I sense a theme of Georgia books. By following the Underground Railroad, which the novel depicts as an actual rail transport system with safe houses and secret routes. I am mostly inspired. It's another Pulitzer Prize winner, because I recently rented the movie The Nickel Boys, and I was really shocked by the ending of that movie, book turned movie. I didn't see that coming, and I want to read some of his other work. So, it's mid-March. I have 9 months and some change to read these 10 books, and yeah, I think I can do it. I'll check back at New Year's. Have you read any of these popular, been around for a while, 10 books? I'd like to know what you think. Okay, so if you are still watching, thank you so much. This is my first solo video, and I'm glad I took the leap talking to my camera phone. I'm on Goodreads. If you want to follow me, I finish 5 to 7 or 8 books a month. Life and books depending. So, thanks so much for watching, and happy reading.